People who, in many instances, have absolutely no clue what they are doing. The Marxists, the anarchists, the looters, the agitators, the Marxists.
Oh boy.
The anarchists.
And we're back. Delirious. Making funny faces that you shall never see.
We'll see.
Making it look like,
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
ooh. It's kind of
You
quiet.
exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you.
Get him the out of here! I'm sorry, I'm not kidding me. We're not gonna do the whole thing. We'll cancel the whole show.
That's what I was thinking. But the show must go on. The show must go on. I'm saying this is a separate episode, so I'm still doing the intro. The intro is going on right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing, it's still going, yada, yada, yada. It's just like it's a new episode, even though it just came out with the last one.
This is lit.
And we're literally just like took a bathroom break. And
No, we don't need to tell people that. It's a huge extravaganza.
This is absolutely lit.
And what people don't know won't hurt them. No, what people don't know is that in both of our studios right now is just a huge audience that are quietly sitting and waiting for our election analysis, for our hot takes, for our ice cream information. There's just a huge group of sweaty people listening intently behind us. Just a bunch of
headstrong, stubborn, quibbling, self-centered, vindictive, obnoxious, hormonal, sexually preoccupied, evil, thieving, cross-dressing jerks.
And also, right when we started the episode, and I was making dumb faces, I knocked my microphone around, so I'm still adjusting that.
well, it's funny that you said like election analysis and ice cream sort of stuff, because when I was just speaking with Humby, who actually just has a live feed into my ear. That's how I say what I'm saying. It's them. No, but I was saying about
you don't
that.
have any ideas of your own. I know that.
No. I said about that ice cream story. I was like, oh my gosh, it was just making me laugh so much. And they brought it together and they said, well, you're right to tell them that no matter who the next president is, that's not going to change, the amount of ice cream flavors that Americans have. You can always count on that. This is America, baby.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, propaganda and fear campaigns can, get people to do things. You spend enough time with like these trying to take away your gas stoves stuff, you can reach that voter with like they're trying to take away your ice cream flavors. The Democrats, they're going to make it so all you have is not even vanilla. Be like, there's
pistachio.
All you have is pistachio. Did you say pistachio?
Yes.
Yeah. Pistachio ice cream. Or like mint chocolate chip.
That's it.
Crap like that.
I like mint chocolate chip. Come on.
Fuck you. No.
I said I was going to stop fucking swearing. You know what? Fuck you. Fuck your mother.
Every time I have mint chocolate chip.
You're pooping the bed?
Every time.
And scene.
Okay. So, there's a lot going on.
So if this is your first episode, you have no fucking idea what we're talking about.
Yeah.
About ice cream.
Oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that.
But it's...
Trump's new coalition of MAGA Avenger allies gather to back their Captain America at MSG.
My God.
I don't even think I want to read this, but I recognized Miranda Devine as the author of the article. Now I'm looking at myself in the thing. You called me a water buffalo, and now my hair is throwing me off. It's really bugging me.
It was more your nose.
I know. It was really funny, though. I had this 90s hairstyle going on in the front. Wow. Madison Square Garden, the greatest arena in the world where America's most celebrated icons have taken the stage. Not in this case.
Yeah.
But, so other times,
There was
Andrew
that
Dice
Nazi
Clay
rally.
sold it
Yeah,
out 2 nights in a row. Was packed to the rafters with patriotic Americans cheering on the formidable ensemble of Donald, quote, Captain America Trump and the Avengers, as some of the surrogates called themselves.
I was gonna say,
the fuck?
is this like linked to an article of someone calling them that? Because I've never heard that, and they're calling themselves that. Oh
Wow.
my God.
Trump's hometown, Deep Blue, New York, whose unpopular Democratic leaders have tried to lock him up, welcomed the former president back as a conquering hero, filling the stadium to bursting, with thousands more New Yorkers lining the route from Trump Tower to cheer his motorcade. I mean, none of that's surprising, really. Of course, he's not going to win New York, but there's
thousands
millions.
of people are thousands of people, It's like,
Yeah,
even though there's
I mean, it's
thousands
New
more
York
that
City.
don't like you, they're not there. Yeah.
I mean, there are hundreds of thousands of Trump supporters in New York City, of course. Like,
And you can
big time
visit
and the
New
whole
York,
rest of the state.
You can like
is
go there
red.
from other places too to go
Yeah.
see him at Madison Square Garden. You don't have to be
Yeah,
from New
upstate
York.
New York,
Yeah.
and all these places in Jersey and stuff like that. Of course, there's probably Trump signs all over these people's yards.
75 million people voted for him, and half of those people live in states like New York. So,
Oh my God! I just scrolled down, Natalie. Here we go. I didn't read this. I just opened this up during our extended break. Maybe I'll release these episodes like a day apart. Try to feel out the algorithm here.
yeah,
But,
that's what we're after.
Yeah, we're trying to get another few thousand.
Nick Mullen
views
did
here.
like my, Instagram post, so.
Wow. Emily said it's like a Dr. Seuss character. Exactly what you said.
Told you.
But in his third and most consequential bid for the presidency, this is the most consequential one. Not the one where he got to nominate 3 fucking Supreme Court justices.
That was inconsequential
And you know what?
compared to this next one coming up.
Let me go back to my notes here. The Supreme Court, is that the Supreme Court? Is that just the one, the court with the red sauce and the sour cream on it? Where's the booing? Oh, I have too many.
Yeah.
Okay.
Play them all at the same time. Yeah.
That was, and I don't say this lightly, worse than 100 September 11th.
Agreed.
Thank you. So he is supported by a surprising group of 5 extraordinarily accomplished Americans, including 2 apostate Democratic presidential candidates who joined him on stage. Canadian psychologist Jordan Peterson calls them the X-Men, the Marvel Comics superheroes, the misfit mutant geniuses come to save the Republic. Woo!
That's so embarrassing. Seriously.
You know what I say to that, Mr. Peterson?
Drugs are fun.
They are Trump's warriors against the monsters of the deep state and the blob of censorship, surveillance, and war. They put the lie to the Dems' final desperate campaign message that Trump is Hitler and half of America is Nazis. No one says that. MAGA people, you're not half of America. Sorry to burst your bubble, man.
close.
Not even close. there is Elon Musk,
Oh
the
my
Tony Stark-like
God.
scientific genius, quite literally an X-Man. Oh my God. For one thing, I'm not even a comic book nerd, all right? Tony Stark, Iron Man, is not an X-Man. That's not the X-Men.
And how could
The
you
X-Men
be
and the Avengers are different things. Am I going crazy here? Right?
be precise
Those
with
aren't
your
the same
words
thing.
or whatever, Jordan Peterson? And also, it's like
Well, this isn't Jordan.
Well,
this
but-
is Miranda Devine.
I thought she was saying that that's what he said.
No.
Oh, well,
He called them the X-Men. Right? Okay. He called them, let's see. Canadian psychologist called them the X-Men. There was a quote around Misfit Mutant.
oh,
But this
Yeah.
is all
this is
all
all
Miranda
Miranda's.
quote the dumb bitch unquote divine. This is all from Miranda I was just gonna try to say something really crude and rude, but
I think you already did. You called her a dumb bitch.
Miranda the pig divine. But yeah, let's see here. Elon Musk, the Tony Stark-like scientific genius. Shut the fuck up. You know what's funny? I was just thinking before this episode, too, of how to bring it up, but talking about just normal voters or just more normal liberal type people. I always think of Dad, kind of, very much politically aware, will vote always, thinks about this stuff, can be bipartisan and stuff, hates MAGA and Trump for sure.
Votes Republican and Democrat.
What's funny, what I thought was funny was learning how much he hates Elon Musk. He hates him so much. I even mentioned, I was talking about Twitter at some point, and I was like, yeah, I had to get off Twitter finally and stuff. I was like, and it sucks because Twitter was great. I loved it as a social media platform. I liked it too much. I should have got off it anyway because it was just addicting for me and stuff. But his first thing, he was like, oh, but it's run by that idiot, that fascist loser. I was like, I know, and it's been getting even worse. He's like, ugh, I would have been out the door the day that he bought that thing. I was like, wow, stay woke. Really?
I think he probably thinks Elon Musk is pretty fucking stupid, which is like
Yes.
something like just like so easy for a smart person to be able to see, like him, like Dad or whatever. He'd be
It's
like,
funny.
this guy's an idiot. Like he has no idea.
You
There's nothing
talk to-
impressive about him. Like you see him on stage and comparing him to Tony Stark, this guy whose charisma is like you can almost taste it in those movies. Like he's like engaging and he's like this and that. Literally Elon Musk on stage, I don't know. I don't want to sound... He seems really fucking socially awkward to me, is what I'll say.
Yeah,
I mean,
sure.
like, he's like nothing.
No, I mean, you go out and touch grass and talk to people about Elon Musk. It's either, isn't he like a super smart rich guy? Or it's either that or you're going to hear the R word. Like people, it's either like, that guy, he's like redacted, right? Like he's an idiot. Did you see him? Like he sucks. Like he sucks. Fuck that nerd. You know? He's not even a nerd. He's a dork. He sucks. He takes credit for everyone else, hoards all this money, spends it on stupid bullshit, is a deadbeat dad. Like, he sucks at everything.
Dead naming
He
deadbeat
has stumbled upwards over and over again, stepped over people, done everything wrong, and been rewarded for it over and over and over again. I hate him
And
so much,
what I just don't get is that...
And Trump wants
He's
to
not-
put him in his cabinet, and he's giving out $1 million a day to voters. Pennsylvania is already filing suit against him because of election laws. We were talking in the last episode about, like, election fraud, not voter fraud. He's doing it out in public, doing like a voter lottery, giving people $1 million. What the fuck?
And he's not even cool. Like, he's so lame. Like, he's so lame. If you watch him talk, like, at all, he's, like, not inspiring. I just do not understand, like, anybody that would be... Like, I don't get it. It's honestly hard. Sometimes I have to cover my eyes, like, when I can just barely even watch just, like, how he answers questions. It's frustrating because he just rarely, so many times he just doesn't say anything.
And people can
really,
be like that. People can be on the spectrum.
No,
it's okay.
I'm saying,
but it's like you shouldn't be on CNBC with $250 billion.
His ego, that's what's the cringe thing, is he thinks he's so fucking cool. It's like really hard to just like, he seems like an eighth grade boy or something like that to me. He's just really
the ego.
Yeah,
that's true.
Mm-hmm. That's like a big
you know
part
what?
Of it. He thinks he's so fucking smart.
He's not a good poster. I don't care what those people say. He's not a good poster. He's not a good memer. He's not.
That's what I mean. He's not funny. He just feels he's just cringe.
Drill metaphorically squishes Elon like a bug. All right? Anyone who uses Twitter would know that. Come on. I have mutual friends on Twitter that post 1,000 times better than Elon. But anyway, like Twitter, God, I like Twitter.
He's lame.
Fuck Elon for ruining it.
And then people literally, that's what I'm saying. It's like, it's fine. He can be just like this, whatever. But it's this cult of personality sort of thing where it's like you're literally comparing him to a comic book character that's like one of his practical superpowers is his sarcastic, charismatic wit. He's so incredibly sharp. He's so quick. He's like engaging. He's really like a very, Tony Stark is
I don't
smart.
even care that he's a misogynist.
Yes. He's like really, him as a character is like, that's what's fun about him. Like, he really can, and he can walk the walk, he's on it. He's just like a very, very smart, he's brilliant. He's a brilliant person.
He's Robert Downey Jr.
No, I mean, Robert Downey Jr. plays him, but it's just like to have Elon Musk compared because what? Because of how he used to be not some fat-faced fuck, and he used to be sort of like exotically good-looking kind of sort of situation back when he first... Elon Musk.
Elon?
That's like I think a lot of comparisons is back in the day he used to be a lot better looking because he didn't look so bloated and disgusting and
after the hair plugs but before the bloat.
Yeah, like when he was like, first gaining, like when those like of things like were talked about, it was like, oh yeah, it's like Tesla and this kind of like Robert Downey, like Tony Stark sort of thing where it's like, okay, it seems like he's like a cool younger billionaire that's like out there. A lot of billionaires are like, who is it? Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos? Nerds, dorks.
Like he was not like on Rick and Morty, literally. Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's sort of where I guess it comes from. But then it's like, I mean, you could only do that for a while, I guess. You could only...
He just kept digging in. And it's like, no matter how he presents himself or how cringy he is or how unfunny he is and how egotistical he is, all of that is just icing on the cake with the fact that he's a fucking fascist. Like, and he is. And maybe some of that is because
Africa, and he's white.
Because he's like, comes from like, a family benefiting from an apartheid regime and comes over and makes a shitload of money and then falls in with this whole right-wing movement. Oh, geez, guess what?
And
he's
platforms
reposting a bunch of anti-Semitic, anti-black, anti-immigrant, constant anti-immigrant, anti-gay and transgender stuff, and turning Twitter into fucking Stormfront, practically. It is shocking. And it's like, Trump wants this guy in his cabinet?
He's
Dad
an
was
X-Men.
Dad was talking about, I mean, Elon Musk as like this private business owner worth all of this money by having SpaceX and stuff is like one of the largest government contractors. Just period. And the fact that Trump would put him in charge of government contract oversights is mind-blowing. It is just so just obvious. Like
Gave me
Garbaggio
chills.
corruption.
Man,
like,
imagine
it's
it.
Psychotic. God. And like, oh man.
It's just such like a satire is dead sort of
Trump-
situation. Goodness gracious. That's like,
Yeah.
could you write a better stupid fucking story there where it'd be like so
Talk about the
Obvious,
1,000th time we could talk about crossing the Rubicon. Good Lord. God. Just,
Now that's the first goddamn thing you've ever said that made one piece of fucking sense.
Don't quote me on that, though.
that's some
But,
good soundboard work.
okay. And this is so funny. Not just the way that they're saying this. We're on the first one here. Elon. is
Oh
the
yeah, we
first
barely got into it.
is the first X-Men Avenger, as we'll say. The first mutant Avenger, which I don't know how they're going to go back and forth on this. I haven't even got down to the comments yet. I wonder what people will say about Miranda, the pig bitch divine. I'm only going to be saying that because she is not,
pig bitch.
Not like an overweight weirdo. She is just some right-wing snot-nosed brat. So
She's a white woman, right? Fuck
Yeah.
her. She,
Oh, yeah.
She has to do
Oh,
way
yeah.
better. Fuck you. You're
But
a
anyway,
woman peddling this bullshit?
Elon
Fuck
Musk.
you.
Then there is the son of Democratic royalty, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., who abandoned his own the look on your face right now. Who abandoned his own presidential campaign to hitch his wagon to Trump as the only candidate who stands against the deep state. Another former
The deep
Democrat.
state, he's a fucking Kennedy. You said he's like president, like he's royalty, you idiot.
What, he stands against the deep state because he's an anti-vaxxer? Is that what you're saying? Well, obviously he's against the deep state. He's a conspiracy theorist. He lets bugs crawl all over his face without blinking an eye. Did you hear that story about how he cut the head off of a whale? He's obviously not part of the deep state. He's a psycho.
Oh my god.
Oh man. Hey, Miranda Devine.
You're ugly. You're disgusting. I'm going to kill you. Go kill yourself. Go sit in the middle of the road and let a car run over you.
Yeah. They're like, how will we even get this whale home, Robert?
So forget about it, cuz.
Another former Democrat, Army Reserve officer, and 2020 presidential
Tulsi
candidate,
Gabbard.
Tulsi the idiot
Ugh.
Gabbard, no,
Wow.
not only
what a
has
strange
thrown her
path.
support behind Trump, but has become a Republican. Wow. Who could have seen that coming?
I mean, what just-
only a lot of people, honestly.
It just seems like a very strange path to take. It just seems like how do people like that look themselves in the mirror, honestly? Like, who are you? Like, what are you doing with your life, Tulsi Gabbard? You were running on the Democratic ticket, and now you're stumping for Trump? You're trumping? What the
Yeah.
fuck?
You're Trump stumping?
What the fuck
Is
has
that like-
happened in your life to make you do that? You're
It's the Chumbawamba album that was really bad. Trump stumping.
Just because he said the N-word too much.
Yeah. I got knocked down, and I get up again, and then I just say, oh. The N-word! And they knock me down again.
So thoughtful. So thoughtful.
I mean, like, how do these people sleep? Like, when these reporters ask them these questions.
Because they're just political
But
animals. And
what-
by animals, I mean they're fucking animals.
Like,
They're-
what is
they're
that?
not
do
people.
to your fucking brain to have someone like JD Vance? It's like, you said he's America's Hitler or whatever, and it's just like, well, I think that blah blah blah. It's like how it's like this powerful like denial or some sort of sociopathic tendency or something that you have where that just doesn't matter to you anymore. It doesn't matter what you said before. Like, it doesn't have any effect on your conscience. Your morals don't feel like they've been in any way like changed at all, even though they are diametrically opposed. Like, it just doesn't, I mean, what is it like inside these people's heads? Honestly, like, it's crazy to think about, like, having that little care for like what you sort of, like, the fundamental thing about like what we think like sets humans apart from like animals genuinely is this sort of moral universe.
These people are animals.
They live
They're animals,
outside the moral universe.
These people are sick.
Freeing. Mental illness is when you're right wing. That is mental illness right there.
That's why.
That's a sick mind. Yeah.
And then you start moving that way, you know, and then you arrive there.
Mental illness is when you're right wing.
That's what.
And then your brain is really sick, and that's too bad. That's very strange.
You start off,
they're criminals and rapists,
and then you end up just saying,
we hate all the Muslims because all of the Muslims are terrorists. We gotta hate the Muslims.
And then at the end of it, you just end up
you
screaming
talk about how can they live
the
with themselves
N-word.
and stuff, you know. It's like, yeah, I mean, they're killing children every day. They're just sending
abortions.
All that stuff. They
Oh no, I got you. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
yeah, post-birth abortions with bombs in Gaza. Yeah, and they can hand wave that while screaming and crying about children dying in Ukraine. It doesn't matter to them, you know. And I mean, none of this shit matters to him.
It's crazy.
It doesn't matter. None of this shit matters. Who cares? As that's the soundbite that I should have got. That's what should have been on this soundboard from day one. Was Carl Bertananalewski saying, "It don't matter. None of this matters." But yeah, I mean, those people.
So they're zen. They're
just
totally
so many
just,
of them.
They're like, I live in the
that's
moment.
That's a tale as old as time. They just wanted in. She just wanted in. And that was, I mean, you could have seen that coming as that she was like, oh, she was a troop. She's a troop girl Democrat. And that she could be a moderate and go back and forth. It's like, well, if she can't make it as a Democrat, of course, she'll just go the other way. And, you know, they'll become independent. Okay, they'll just end up being a Republican. That's just the way it goes. And then they could be a superstar when they're a Republican. It's just like how those Republicans can go Democrat, and then they'll suddenly be the Democrats will hold them on a golden throne. You know, Elizabeth Warren. You know, it's the way it goes.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm thinking of like not exactly single-celled amoebas, but, you know, very early life in
half-celled.
Yeah, where it's like, I mean, just,
amoebs.
You know, where they're like going towards the light, you know, sort of things that like really, really simple sort of things like, no, not really like a brain so much as just like senses, like for things like, that's
reacting
sort of,
to stimuli.
Yeah, exactly. That's
like a wasp.
Just sort of, yeah.
White Anglo-Saxon Protestant.
Just sort of what it must be like to be someone like that. Just like reacting to stimuli.
Every single moment of what would be supposed cognitive dissonance.
Oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that.
I just go for what benefits
Tulsi
me.
Gabbard. Gabbard, as Peterson says, is everything that Kamala Harris pretends to be. Accomplished, articulate, oh my God, and principled. Holy moly.
Articulate,
I didn't expect that. Okay. Okay. There is the inarticulate Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh my goodness! No, I'm just.
I was like, what?
No. No, there is Vivek Ramaswamy, the smart young entrepreneur who abandoned his own presidential bid to join Trump's campaign. Well, that's a nice.
I like the way they put that. He abandoned to hitch his
just
wagon,
to join up with Trump,
you know.
And she doesn't compare him to any other X-Men. She kind of ran out of steam with the whole Marvel
so
thing.
So who was it?
Here.
Elon?
So we got Elon.
Was Tony Stark, who's not an X-Man.
And then nothing else. And then there's Robert F. Kennedy, who abandoned his own presidential campaign.
Not a character.
There's Tulsi Gabbard, who has thrown her support behind Trump.
Is that Black Widow?
There's Vivek, who abandoned his own presidential bid.
Thor.
Last but not least is Trump's brilliant running mate, J.D. Vance. The articulate, quote, hillbilly who pulled himself out of the Appalachians by his bootstraps, as Peterson describes
Appalachians.
him. Special mention on the Trump A-team. Now it's the A-team? Who's Mr. T?
Yeah, no. They don't have one of those. As they said.
Who's the guy chomping the cigar? What was his name? No, a special mention on the Trump A-team goes to former First Lady Melania Trump, who introduced her husband just after 7 p.m. Why? Why is the special mention?
She's a part of the superstar
Much
team.
to the chagrin of Trump detractors, she is very much by his side, publicly tender with him at the Al Smith dinner, and carving her own powerful role in the campaign with social commentary in her own book and social media videos. Well, okay, that's surprising.
Publicly
honestly.
Tender with him. I wonder what that means. Should it slap his hand away again?
Yeah, because she's not cold.
Like
and distant.
literally when she like pretends to smile at him and then turns around and is like just like comical, like how her expression changes.
It's cold, hollow, and violent.
And,
this city in America needs its magic back, she said, promising her husband will give Americans the future that we deserve. Excuse me. She welcomed him on stage with a warm embrace, 3 kisses, and several pats on the back as they hugged to his trademark background song of God
YMCA.
Bless the USA. Of the Phantom of the Opera.
It was Ave Maria.
Yeah. Are you better off now than you were 4 years ago? So it's all this, okay. And it's just talking about what Trump was promising in his rally. The Republican Party has become the party of inclusion. I will prevent World War III from happening. We will not be invaded or occupied. We will not be conquered. Oh my goodness!
What are we in?
The most
are we in danger
and
of that?
corrupt forces that this nation, from immigration is what he's talking about.
Oh my God!
Kamala is a vessel of the deep state.
Whoa.
Yada yada. Massive, vicious, crooked, radical left machine that runs the Democratic Party.
Wait, who's saying this, JD or Trump?
This is Trump.
Oh.
The New York Post, page 6 cover, MSG MAGA Square Garden. Okay. Number 1 X-Man, Musk, came on stage earlier in the night wearing his favorite dark MAGA cap after being described by Howard Lutnick, his fellow co-founder of Trump's proposed Department of Government Efficiency, as the greatest capitalist in the history of the world. Oh my God.
Cool.
Oh God. The Department of Government Efficiency.
Mm-hmm. That's like
Doge. Oh my God. Musk promised the DOGE would strip $2 trillion from the $6.5 trillion Biden-Harris budget. Yeah, I'm sure that will be great. I'm sure that will work great. He knows how to strip money from things. Look at Twitter. It's lost 76% of its value since he purchased it. Mm-hmm. Something like that.
He's just playing 4D chess.
We're going to get the government off your back and out of your pocketbook, he said. The future is going to be amazing. Robert F. Kennedy was welcomed on stage to the tune of American Badass by Kid Rock.
Oh my
boy.
God.
Oh, he said that he stood up to the CIA, Yada yada. Party of Bill Gates. Well, let's see. Is there any other? Okay, Trump takes deep pride in his group of X-Men stars who are helping him forge a coalition of working-class traditional Democrats, blacks, Hispanics, libertarians, and Republicans who he believes will unite the country behind his presidency. The Trump campaign should maximize the visual power of the X-Men in the final days of the campaign because they alone give permission to the undecided voter to choose the dreaded Trump.
They alone, yeah. So it's like, who are these motherfuckers though? Vivek just is like, what else has he done besides not win the presidency?
Besides abandon his presidential bid.
Why would I give a shit about what his opinion is?
What a boring
Was it Rudy
article.
Giuliani?
At least it was funny. It really front-loaded there.
Wasn't
with
Rudy Giuliani? Isn't he talking at speeches and stuff? Why isn't he a part of the X-Men? Who is he? I wonder who.
Isn't he like almost in jail?
He's
or
out there.
something?
I saw him giving a speech. He's all yelling, just about immigration or whatever.
We have one of our other favorite authors, though. One of our other
Is it
favorite
Piers?
columnists, Piers the Pig Morgan.
I knew it. I just had a sense. Ugh.
Scum of the Earth, MSNBC, the Dems, and the ludicrous Trump is Hitler hysterica. Yes, my name's Hysterica. You could call me Erica. Let's see. I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. In 8 blunt words from the podium at Donald Trump's Madison Square Garden rally, wrestling icon Hulk Hogan summed up the ludicrous facade at the heart of the Democrats' increasingly desperate campaign to depict her opponent as the new Hitler. You know what, though? I'm kind of with this, though. Trump is a fascist, and a lot of the GOP is going further and further to the right towards fascism. Some of them are fascist, all this stuff. But, in terms of, campaigning tactics, in terms of just political stuff, the fuck is this? What are you doing?
Yeah.
You think this is gonna win you an election?
Agreed.
Morons! What are you talking about? It didn't work before. What are you doing? Any of the people who would be convinced by this stuff have been convinced for a long time. It doesn't matter. It just makes you seem hysterical. It doesn't move the needle anywhere. It honestly just gives the Republicans ammunition like this. It makes you seem just sky is falling for no reason, especially when your platform is so similar to the GOP's. If they're such fascists, then why is your immigration policy just like theirs? Are you kidding me? What's the difference? If they're fascists, what? Because their rhetoric about immigration is different? Well, what's different about their policy? You're bragging about building more of the wall than Donald Trump's administration did. Good Lord. You're bragging about having Republicans on your side. And then you're calling them the party of Hitler. It's ludicrous. Just a few months ago, you had so much energy because you were calling them weird. It would work if you stuck to a consistent thing and actually showed that you were different than these guys. And I know this is all way too late, so it doesn't matter. But it's such a non-campaign. I just don't understand. What the fuck are they doing? And if she wins, good on her. Whatever. But
Good on
also it
voters.
just goes to show what the fuck is this country? What is the Electoral College? What a joke. These two can't. What was the point of all this? Like, no matter who wins, honestly, what was the point of this? I don't get it. Like, I mean, it doesn't matter for me. I'm voting for Claudia and Karina. You know, I just hope that they get some votes.
Yeah.
I'm voting for the PSL.
It's really interesting and sad. Like, Humby and I just watched something where it was like, you know, in the debate, he's like, they're eating the dogs, they're eating the cats. And it's
they're
like,
eating the cats.
That seems so long ago to think. It's like,
yeah,
who is this person? I mean, like Kamala, like, what is their campaign? What have they done? All that excitement that we had, the DNC, it's like, man, you guys really know how to spoil stuff really quick for us. You can't even give us any more, like, we don't even get the illusion of, like, this hope and all this kind of bullshit for, like, 5 seconds. And then now we're already, it's like, you haven't even won yet, and we're already fucking tired of you. You're cynical and just been, and, like, whatever.
She stinks.
I mean, yeah, like, what a huge disappointment. I feel like the Democrats are. Wow, what an understatement.
The fact that any of us can be this cynical and tired of what could be the first woman president
of
is
color,
mind-blowing. Like, that's crazy.
That's what the Democrats do to us. That's what I'm saying. They have that bullshit like right there in their pocket, and look what they do. They want to be like, what do they want to be? One of the good ones to Republicans? Who are you? I just don't really. It's just a bummer, you know, and that's what. That's why we need to adopt ranked choice voting, you know, to have more options. So you could have 5 options in the presidential general election, and then you could rank them.
Shut the hell up, bitch.
You know what the Democrats say to that?
Shut the hell up, bitch.
They do, because they're like, no, because our policies suck. How are we supposed to win elections if someone comes along with better ideas that are, you know, like more fleshed out?
But a bunch of their
and stuff?
people don't suck. I mean, a bunch of their people that are in office now do. But, like...
And that's who controls it all. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Democrats doesn't mean Democrats all down the line. It means whoever owns the Democrats, like the Democratic National Convention, those sort of, like, really high level, I don't know, these donors. Well, that's what it is. You know, all these people support it. You know, I'm not saying that it's George Soros, but I am saying that there are billionaires.
Say Steve Ballmer.
I'll say,
you know?
Bill Gates. You know, I'll say some of these other guys that do support left. You know, the left.
Now Natalie is convinced that Bill Gates is Jewish. Weirdo, anti-Semite.
No.
You're like,
no. You made that jump yourself.
Anti-Semitic.
It's just because there's just so much money and those kinds of interests. You know, when you get up to that level, that is. Maybe they make it differently, but it's and maybe it's like you can compare, but it truly is the thing that Americans are sick of, and it is the lesser of two evils. And it's like it's hard to have a qualifier on something that says it's evil, because even if it's less, it's still like a fucking demon. So I would like to have a choice that feels like a good, the lesser of two goods, but it's, you know?
It's not even just that.
I want to vote for the greater of two goods.
Huge part of the problem, but like, I mean, just the current generation of like Democratic leadership, the absolute ineptitude of like these national campaigns and stuff is just, it's staggering. I cannot be that out of touch. Like, it's really weird. Like, these really basic things where, like I said, I'll be happy, of course, if she wins, of course. You know, I mean, I'll be happier than
Donald
if Trump wins.
God damn it.
Whatever.
It'll just Department
keep churning
of
along.
Government Efficiency.
Kids will just keep dying in Gaza, whatever. But,
God.
like, it's like, but But it's just so strange. Like, what are they just have such a huge opportunity to sweep this, and they've just squandered it, just snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. Like taking this chance to put in the first woman president and doing such a bad job that they're just making people just immediately say,
we should just start killing women
instead. It's just like, oh, you want to vote Democrat?
You're so selfish and stupid when you do that.
Stay home. No.
Man,
and
they
vote from home
just,
because you live in Washington.
And it's like,
No.
couldn't you just do it? Like, you couldn't even hold it up for like 4 months. Like, you couldn't just like really.
It was set up for
hit it hard.
It was a layup.
Like, boom, you had all of this. Like, oh man, okay, cool. Now we got some momentum behind us. All you had to do was like have some sort of good plan to get people excited. And what did you do?
The running mate that people wanted. You
nailed that.
You moved to the progressive side so that you'd have this energy, and then you trip over your balls so hard, especially, I mean, and I just keep saying it, but especially foreign policy-wise on Israel, that the fucking LA Times won't even endorse you because you're funding a genocide. Something you don't have to do. So like something that can just easily, you don't even have to, like, you could just fucking lie to us like all the other previous administrations have done. It's the US military. And you could say, you know what we're going to do? We're going to do an arms embargo on Israel. And everyone, like, you just do all these, just get this huge energy going and separate yourself from these fucking hogs on the other side with something that would differentiate you from these other guys and differentiate you from the unpopular president that they dropped from the ticket. But no, everything's going to be the same. Everything's going to be the same. I'm not really going to give you anything different. And actually, I think I'm going to be a little bit more like them. You know, the guys that you hate, that you don't want to vote for, so I want you to vote for me. What the fuck? What are you doing? Like, and then if you're just going to, if you're going to do all this, squander all this goodwill, squander all this energy and all this momentum, try to make some sort of move towards the progressive vote and then squander that immediately, and then just focus on Pennsylvania solely, then why didn't you go with the Pennsylvania guy in the first place? Like, why did you choose Walz? I don't get it. You should have just chosen Shapiro to begin with. That was your plan, I guess, was just to focus on Pennsylvania. Doesn't make any fucking sense. Now you look at it like we were talking about last episode or whatever. I think. I don't know. But it's like, we're not going to win Georgia. I don't know what's going to help you win Nevada. I don't know. Man. I don't know what you're focusing on there. You probably lost Michigan. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Detroit will have to be huge. All I'm seeing is like these articles that are pure identity politics about how Indian Americans are excited to vote for Kamala in Detroit. That doesn't seem like something you should rely on. Hopefully, like, all the union endorsements help there. That was Biden, so hopefully the Biden endorsements carry along. I don't know. It's a really tight rope that you're walking. It's a close race. Somehow, according to the polls, she's losing the popular vote. According to the polls, with just over a week before the election.
That wouldn't happen.
Embarrassing.
We said at work, we're like,
and she could be
don't look
a black
at the polls.
Woman president.
Just don't look at the
what
polls. They're so polls
yeah,
are
sure.
They're useless. They are like talk about like statistics and my version of it, because I don't know shit about math. I'm like, everything's 50-50. Either it does happen or it doesn't happen. Every single, that's the only thing. It's like either it will or it won't. Those are the two options that are going to happen. And whatever, because I'm like joking, obviously, but I don't really care because I'm like, I'm not in a math class, but that's seriously like pollsters in these elections. Like at work, we're like, just don't look at them. It's going to upset you. And they're so often just like, they're all over the place. It just doesn't, they don't know shit, honestly. So I would say,
I don't know. They're usually pretty close. They were close in 2016. They're all saying, well, they got it wrong in 2016. No, they didn't. They didn't. They called it pretty well in 2016. People just don't know how to read polls. But it's like, I mean, they're usually pretty decent. You still have margins of error and stuff like that. But, I mean, it's, it's still statistics. Things can happen. If something has a 35% chance of happening, sure, it probably won't, but it still can, stuff like that. But it's different than a 1% chance of happening, of course. But, I mean, you just don't expect a 16 seed to upset the 1 seed every time. You know what I mean? But I don't know. We'll just hope I could just be totally pessimistic. And it's like, well, people are just really fucking tired of Trump. They're tired of these loud mouths at the rallies. They're tired of these red hats. No one really wants 4 more years of this bullshit. And he just doesn't have the sauce. That's what I'd be happy about. Humby was making that point, like how this could be, and I heard that point being made on Chapo, I think, about, contrary to what was common knowledge before about higher turnout favoring Democrats, how now it's like, because that higher turnout meaning energy for like MAGA people, lower turnout doesn't necessarily just spell doom for them. Humby was kind of saying that too. And like, it could be like, they just don't, he just doesn't have the sauce, That could be it. Could be the media loves covering him, of course. I mean, so much of the online media and stuff is just infested with MAGA stuff, so you see it all the time. And where I live, I see it all the time, no matter what. But, and so it's like, you think that he has much more of a chance, and the Electoral College is tilted in his favor, of course. But it's like, but unless he has that swell, he just can't pull it off. I mean, he did in 2016. It was barely done. So,
yeah, there was some close.
Kamala
there were
could
some
coast
close
through
races though in against Joe Biden. When it comes down to it, he might have, he won like these electoral votes, but then when it comes down to like counting votes in between, there were some close things between Joe and Trump. Yeah, I just want it to be over. I just want it to be over so bad. I've been saying that for a while. I'm like, God.
Oh, just wait.
I
think 2020 was bad.
I just don't even.
Just wait till we have January 6th, 2.
It's like, do I care? Of course I care. But one of the things, it's either going to be Trump or Harris. Those are the two options. So it's like, can we just know already? It's like, can we just move on with this and just like get to it? Because it's kind of like, you guys are really fucking boring me now. It's like gonna be business as usual. Nothing is really changing. So can we just like, I mean, Trump, I guess,
if
would
Trump
be...
wins, he's going to have these X-Men.
Yeah.
All right?
It would be business
That's
as
not
usual.
business as usual,
That's already
baby.
happened, 2016. We've already lived under this thing. It'll just happen again, and it'll be awful. And, so, like, can we just get on with it? It's like, I guess it's like next Tuesday, though, so.
Silly woman.
Oh, darn. Let's say.
Silly woman. Shut up. Silly woman.
Nice.
Darn, I was trying to do that right because I don't have it as a drop. But
yeah, it really feels just like
if only that could be, like a nice thing. You're like, sure, it's all done.
Mm-hmm.
We're all done.
Yeah, like, oh, that's over. Let's go to the next, election season's over. It's more like, oh my God, please. Like, I'm barely like dragging myself through. Like, get to the end of this torture.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there's like court cases and recounts, and you're just like,
seriously, like, good God. Do you guys have jobs? Like,
no.
Just running the country.
Well, I wish I
Into
had
the
a final
ground.
one on the New York Post. That one was nicely front-loaded. Piers, the Pig Morgan, didn't really get into that one. They're just really, really going in on this whole Madison Square Garden thing, saying, nuh-uh, we're not Nazis. We're not Nazis, by the way. These aren't fascists. Trump's not a fascist.
Oh, that's what was making me laugh was Hulk Hogan saying, I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. That's so fucking funny. That's so fucking funny. Oh my God.
Oh, boy.
God, that's like a comedy movie. That's hilarious. That's so fucking funny. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's idiocracy. Straight up.
Ugh.
Oh, boy. Okay, we've got Dear Abby. Oh, man. I'm 69 and dating
Nice.
a widow. Nice. Yeah, nothing good. We're going to have to see what the fallout is from, geez. Kamala Harris needs to stop the Hitler rhetoric with Donald Trump before we see more violence. Excuse me? Excuse me? Imagine you're Kamala Harris and you've gone all Hitler all the time, but no assassins have granted your wish, and Donald Trump continues to build a significant lead. Now what? Bro!
Starting strong.
That's what you think is going on here? Asshole.
Who is this?
Michael Goodwin.
Is it on the New York
and
Post?
his picture in this? You shouldn't be writing this, Michael. Fuck you, dork.
He's got a face
like,
made for
"Yeah."
radio, huh?
Yeah, his big smile, crooked ass head. That's the crucial question facing the vice president and desperate Democrats as, with apologies to Willie Nelson, the days dwindle down to a precious few. Apology not
accepted. Fuck you, bitch. What do you think you're quoting Willie Nelson in a New York Post article? Golly.
So far, the answer from Harris and her party is a steady drumbeat of more Hitler, more fascist, and more dictator charges, despite warnings they are dog whistles for violence. Yeah, well, stop being a fascist. He literally said he would be a dictator. He has praised Hitler in the past. That came out in the first elections, came out during his presidency.
He
coming
says
out
he's
again
friends with
from
Victor
John
Orban.
Kelly.
I mean, he says it. He says it. He says it. He says it. He says it.
Yes. Yeah. It's like yes. What are you talking about? And if you think, well, that's just going to lead to violence because why? Because you think people will take it upon themselves to commit violence against dictators? Well, gee whiz. I wonder why. It's because people don't want to be controlled by a dictator.
Kind of like how the United States did in World War II to help people get rid of that wannabe dictator over in Germany.
It's kind of like how our fantasy
kind of like what we
is
say, the
taught in
greatest fucking
schools about
generation.
It's kind of like the fantasy of the birth of our own nation in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's some things
what you tell yourselves about fighting against the dictatorial King of England. It's not, oh my gosh, the picture. The picture they have of Kamala in here with just of her just mid-yell.
Nice.
Just mean face, mouth wide open, with her arm out and her finger pointing straight up, looking so Hitlerish. Nice. And just with the caption underneath, Kamala Harris has compared Trump to a dictator. It's not a stretch to imagine someone on the edge would conclude it's sane and moral to stop the modern version of a monster who launched a world war and killed 6 million Jews. You know, he also killed 5 million gypsies, communists, union leaders, black people, gay people, transgender, all sorts of people, you know. Yeah. It is horrific what he did to all of those people.
No, we don't care
about
those
you know,
people.
because he had a lot of views that were a lot like Donald Trump's.
Yeah, and his generals were ones that Donald Trump wished he had.
A lot of the people on your editorial board there at the New York Post. He shared a lot of views with you guys. By the way,
even he shared.
You know, we just read an article
those rallies shared Madison
by
Square Gardens.
Miranda the Pig Divine about. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be misogynist. It's just so funny to call someone a pig.
Fuck that bitch.
But that spoke at length about like. Oh, gosh, where was I going with this? God dang it. It's getting too late now.
Yeah, it's over an hour
about Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk. These people share many views like that. And like people at the Daily Wire and stuff like that share many very similar views to Adolf Hitler, especially when you take the Jewish part out of it. Although...
Do you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Sometimes they leave it in. I mean, the Daily Wire gets here and there. You know, Ben Shapiro wouldn't want to exterminate 6 million Jews, but leave the other people in there. I don't know. But let's see. Judging by her flip response, Harris doesn't care. No one should be the subject of violence, she told reporters Friday, then added, but the American people deserve to be presented with facts and the truth.
How dare she say something so controversial? She makes me sick.
Yeah. Oh, how I wish I could believe or understand that. Okay. Well,
bye.
Doot, doot. Just remember when you vote,
suck
my dick, government!
Nice. Vote no on all the
government is fucking gay!
Vote no on all the initiatives.
And vote no on all the
if you're in
initiatives.
Washington.
And remember, we love Natalie and...
Doug? That's not a name that exists. That's not a real name, okay?
Nice.
Doug. Hey, do you know a Doug? Anybody watching this, do you know a Doug? You don't.
Nice. Nice.
Are you pro-slavery, Natalie? What the fuck are you talking about?
What's that from?
That's one of the initiatives that Natalie is voting yes on.
Where have you been, Natalie?
Being a slaver.
Yep, exactly.
Owned.
Is what you said to that slave.
Consider yourself owned.
Consider yourself owned, because you are.
Oh my god. You should send that to Aaron Brown.
So vote no to take away Natalie's slaves.
Mm-hmm. Let's hope that doesn't pass.
That was a really nice one. Thanks, Inane Blather.
Shout out to Humby. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Wendy. Shout out to Danae.
To all y'all.
Zach,
babes.
Kelsey, everyone.
Mm-hmm. Especially Aaron Brown.
Shout out to Emily
listening.
when she gets around to this one.
Okay, love you.
Shout out to Mia. Okay. All right. Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, love you, bye.
Okay, vote PSL.